right. This will be more of a stream of consciousness post, and it's rest in peace, Marcus Wynne, who was a great instructor, mentor, and friend. Who last week, I just, I was told or informed that he'd passed away suddenly. I believe it was cardiac issues. This individual taught me a lot of stuff via Rick Fay and the Minnesota Kali Group, teaching many of my contemporaries, initially guiding me in to be a helper for teaching women self-defense and that sort of thing. It was all a fun ride, so a lot of the actual details do escape me, but I do remember some of the training that I received, both on the receiving end and as a facilitating end. And then we went further on into executive protection, again with cohorts from my gym, my generation, who were, the vast majority of them, we were all fighters. I'm a martial artist since I was 8. As of this recording right now, I'm 50 years old. I'm glad to be so. Made it this far. Choosing to do what I have done, plus many other things that are beyond the concept of what I'm trying to get across. There's a lot of things on this channel that I would like to present. I would like to share, but I may have to move it to a different venue because it really gets in the weeds. And with Marcus's passing and me trying to accumulate and get all of the notes and information, it's like, oh my gosh, I've been exposed to a lot of stuff at a high level. He was doing stuff with the Israeli Defense Force, the Swedish Defense Forces, law enforcement, local here to my city/cities. I was a part of a lot of that training, often than not. And for the most part, I kept it kind of under my collar, if you will. It's just, I knew the value of it. And I wanted to keep it, not everybody's supposed to know this kind of stuff. I'm not a super secret squirrel. I'm not trying to say all that. But I will provide information below, and you can make your own judgments about the information that's out there. That he was a part of, and he was instrumental of a lot of cool, like, awesome stuff. I mean, just like, it blows your mind, if your mind is open to it. And as a person that chose to work in dangerous vocations, i.e. being a bouncer or loose security, and what I mean by loose security, you got those people that sell those loosies. Okay, maybe you're operating security, but you're not like officially on the books. You gotta work. You gotta have your own insurance. You gotta, do your own thing. You gotta be your own entity, if you will. But the knowledge and the training that I received from this individual in that realm, when I was working hard in that realm, many different venues, many different types of venues, served me well. And even to this day, day-to-day life, there's lessons that I've learned and things that I know that, keep me above board for the most part. And his passing is, as I'm getting older, that's what's going to happen, I guess. But the idea is to keep their legacy alive, or to keep their knowledge forward moving and forward going. I was a consumer of the knowledge and a user of the knowledge, but I was never a purveyor of the knowledge of, okay, how do I now teach other people? Because I didn't feel qualified. I didn't feel in a position to say, hey, I got, there's a bunch of stuff going on out there, and I'm mincing words, Men Who Stare at Goats, that movie. Okay, it's a parody. It's supposed to be dark humor, but people in the know what that movie was about. And I've been exposed to some of that inside information, a little bit, enough for me and my public education, just after desegregation, using critical thinking to kind of put two and two together, or let me slide these slots into place to see if something makes sense. And so a lot of it started to make sense. A lot of it's like, a lot of it, it gets to be a rabbit hole. And I'm not trying to go down that or taint his name nor my channel with that sort of conspiratorial message. But no, there's higher levels of training going on. And I'm lucky enough to have been exposed to it, and I utilize it daily. I have no choice because I've exposed to it. I can't unsee it. I cannot unknow it, if you will. So I'm providing a bunch of links below. Definitely check out Dennis Martin, because he, as far as this is concerned, it was Marcus's best friend. As far as what it is that Marcus was researching and trying to teach, and we're talking high level stuff, to higher level people, NASA race car drivers, or not NASA race car, but race car drivers, people that are under high duress, high stress vocations, and you still have to operate. You can't crumble and fold. You can't go, I guess I can't do this. Nope. You still got a job to do, and you got to keep it copacetic. You got to keep it correct, and you have to come back and debrief and write a report with all the details. So, I want to thank him graciously for what he has shared with me and my peers back in the late 90s, that never left any of us. A lot of us, even to this day, still kind of go, oh, yeah. We use that stuff. Yeah. And we are lucky enough as civilians, non-LE, non-SF, non-alphabet soup, agency bullshit. No. We're just regular Joes that like martial arts. And he was willing to at least use us as test subjects. You know, I mean, I guess at the very worst, but at the very best, we learned something. And he trusted us to share that knowledge. So, you know, that's my shout out to Mr. Marcus Wynne. Rest in peace, sir. Thank you very much. As far as what I'm going to do moving forward, I'll incorporate some things, you know, as much as I can. I may have to open up another type of venue, because some knowledge I'm not trying to share with everybody that I know, that I've experienced. It's just not for everybody, you know. So at any rate, yeah, I had to take a break and kind of drive out and find a decent backdrop to gather my thoughts and try and figure out what I'm going to do as far as sharing Marcus's, you know, legacy and information, because it's very complicated. Below, primarily, I'll put his neuroscience book, because it is about, a lot of what he taught was about, oh my gosh, how do I say this without sounding real outer space like, right? And yes, I am that geek, but I understand reality. And for the layperson, it's basically making the unperceivable perceivable in one's own ability. You think you can't do something until you tap in or know what to tap into, and then you're able to do it. And able to do it at a very high level. I mean, that's the best I can explain it. Again, key acronyms, keywords might be NLP, neuroplasticity, RV, those sorts of things. So again, I'm gonna put a link below. I want people to, if you choose to, you know, check that stuff out and take it to heart as to what and how training for our self-defense, either interpersonally or internationally, is going. And he is definitely a leader within that realm that I should know nothing about, and most people know nothing about. So that's my impromptu right now, off the dome, off the top, sort of. I don't know, I wouldn't call it a eulogy, but just, you know, letting people that need to know that unfortunately we lost a warrior, but he left us a legacy. Wrote a lot of books, many of it in our area, the Twin Cities. And I have to find one of the books. You know, he used a lot of us in his books. I was in one of them, so I'm like, oh my gosh, really? It was quite, you know, it was quite flattering, although I'm not used to such things, you know. When I find the excerpt, I'll post it. Not that it means much, because especially in comparison to what he really was doing and how he was doing it, his work. We walked and we laughed and we had breakfast together and we talked, and if anything, I just remember just laughing. We laughed and laughed and laughed. You know, we could always make a good joke together, and it's dark humor when you come with it. It's I don't know, it's warrior shit. You talk about warrior shit and it's dark humor, and we can laugh and laugh and laugh. We go and have pancakes together, you know, and you know, very charming man, you know, and he did it. He could charm pretty much anybody, you know. I can be quite aloof, personally, but, yeah. So I have fond memories as a friend, you know, and I have very, very staunch memories as an instructor, because he could turn it on and off. You could turn it on and off, and I'm talking about accessing the state to do what it is that you have to do at any given moment. It's like a dial. You turn it up, you turn it down. You know, right now, as I'm giving this as an example, I'm probably at a 2, because I'm sitting here at a local park. So I've got my head on a swivel, my eyes on a swivel for, you know, people rolling by me, you know, wondering why I'm just been sitting here for the past 45 minutes, you know. And then, depending on the situation, I have to roll it up, I have to roll it down. So, I think going forward, as far as my channel is concerned, I'm going to be introducing a lot more stuff that may, you know, and again, I'm a primitive technologist. That's what I like. That's my realm, to be honest. Naked in the wilderness, if you will. Sort of a mindset. But I'm going to be incorporating, you know, try to incorporate more stuff that might be a little bit more reachable or perceivable by people. But there'll be a smattering of things that I've learned from Marcus, and I will cite those things in general because I think it's important. But I may have to separate this platform to another platform and put some of that stuff behind a paywall or a protected wall, because not everybody needs to know this information, and not everybody does know this information. So at any rate, thanks for listening to me ramble on. Below is where the information is about this man who was a great influence by way of Rick Fay of the Minnesota College Group, my instructor, who introduced me to this man. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. But yeah, it's a great influence on my life, and really, truly has kept me alive and thriving.